Hi, welcome to Stampin Smiles by Jackie, and today I'm gonna show you this. I have this cute little 3x3 card I did. You can see in comparison to my hand, it's quite small. And what I'm gonna show you here is demonstrate this masking technique. And I'm going to kind of be doing it different to how I usually do it. I usually sit down and do it and I can't see the screen. So I'm standing up, looking through the phone. I can see my hands. But I hope I can figure out where I'm putting them because I've never done it standing up, looking through the camera. I've always done it sitting down, ignoring the camera. But I didn't want to miss anybody if they came on, so... Here we have the a stencil on top of a 2 and 3/4 inches by 2 3/4 inch square, and both the mask and the square are the same size. One is just completely plain white paper, and one is the mask, which is taped on. And I cut this out of the red with the seasonal layers thinlits. So that's how we did that. And then once we've done this background to make the card, I've got a 3x6 inch card here, which we then fold and just burnish a bit. And that makes the card base, and we will stick that on with dimensionals, if I can find them. Okay, now the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the first piece, and I just can't do this standing, it's just killing my back. I'm just going to have to keep peeking. What you want to do is just get a little piece of tape. I cut off too much, so I'm just going to save some. And this is not just any tape. This is temporary tape, the blue one. I know it's in a green. I just bought the roll by itself without the holder. And then I put it in the green one, and I put the blue label on there so you would know it's the temporary tape. Basically, it's not going to give me a permanent stick, which in other words means I can put it on paper and it's not going to tear the paper. Now, I've got this circle. It's cut from the Sweet Homes dies. I don't have a punch, and I don't know the measurements of the circle. I just know it's exactly the right size to make this. You need a size that's going to make a basic little circle that will sit within this this sort of framework of the maple leaf. And I'm just going to put it right there, because I'm kind of happy with it right there. And that's going to be my son in the background of that picture. It's the first thing I lay down as far as masking is this circle after this outer framelit. And then the first ink I used is now going to go on. And if you can see it here, it's Calypso Coral. So I'm just going to open up that. And I'm just going to have it off to my side. Oh, maybe I should bring it into the picture more. It's actually, I actually have a Tangerine, Tangerine Tango sponge that I'm using. But it doesn't matter. As long as it's kind of an orangey color that I've been using it for, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to go mainly over the top. And what I want is for the orange to be darker at the very top of the maple leaf and fade as I go downward. So I'm starting at the top and I'm working downward. And that way I get kind of all over coverage, but I'm mostly darkening the top. And at the same time, go around the circle a bit because you do want to have an impression of your circle. So, yeah, get the whole thing in. And, oh, hi, Arlene. Welcome. So now we've got this, sort of like, we don't want too much color with this one. This one's actually a very light color on it. So, I think that's good enough. As long as I've got most of my leaf covered and I've got the shape of the leaf showing and the shape of the circle showing. Now, I'm going to, at this point, remove the circle. And you will see that we have made a circle sun in the center. And the next thing that goes over is this next mat, which I use for the red. I'm going to use the same one I used before because it's already dirty. Just like I use the same this framelit was the same one I used last time. Because it just conserves paper. And what you want to do is basically have a little bit of the sun showing below it, but not too much. So I'm going to put it right there. And this is, once again, is temporary tape I'm using. And what I'm going to actually do is I'm going to straighten this out because it's not quite on the paper. And I want it on the paper more. Be careful of getting it in your leaf holes. You don't want to mask your leaf. You're going to want the color all in your leaf. So, go like this. And then what I didn't do last time, and I didn't quite have my reflection lined up with my sun, is I'm going to take a pencil and I'm marking on my mask where the two edges of my sun are. Because that circle is going to disappear when we get the red. And the next color I use is Real Red. And Real Red is the color. So we'll just open that up. And I've got a different sponge for that one. I've got a sponge that I've been using mostly for red tones. So this is my Real Red sponge. And I'm just going to go completely in the water, except for what I want to do is leave it a little, first of all just go across, just to give it all a color. And then I want to kind of darken it on the edges towards where the sun is. Leaving a sort of and kind of darkening it a bit further out. And further out. And that's probably about as much color as I even want to give of that, except for that I'd like to get the stem of the leaf a little redder. So I'm just going to concentrate a little bit on the stem of the leaf. And yeah, that looks right. That looks about right. It doesn't take long. And then the color is on. Now we're going to need the Real Red out for just a bit longer, because what I did do, and I am going to do again. Hi, Arlene. Hi, Gwen. Nice to see you. I'm going to just stamp this. This is the water from the High Tide stamp set. And I'm going to be using quite a few of the stamps from the High Tide stamp set. That didn't quite make enough water. I'm going to hit it again with the ink and put another layer on. That's a little better. It looks a little bit more like water now. It's kind of an oceany water. And now I can close the red. I'm finished with the red. And the next step is to get your Memento ink, which is the Tuxedo Black. And I'm going to really put this off to the side because it tends to not be stable on that surface that I had the other stamp ink on. And what I want from this High Tide stamp is, well, actually, I'm going to start with the other grass first because that one kind of lays my foundation for where to work. So, what I'm going to do is, I think at this point, what I do is I take the mask off. Yeah, I have to take the mask off. Okay, we've got our basic sun and water. But now we're going to add in the grass. And the grass can go across both layers. So it's like we didn't want the mask there. That's for sure. And one thing you're going to notice is that you have to press really hard to get these stamps to actually cover the area where the mask is. You see how there's a bit of a white edge? It's not as bad as it was last time. I think this time I was more prepared for it. Last time when I was doing it, I had to do some repair work because there was some parts. And then I've just got this little piece of grass. And I'm just filling in the white areas. And this area just needs a little bit of touch. Oh wow. It's not gonna do it. It's the mask. It's too high up. And the very last thing I add as far as the picture goes is the birds. And I really don't worry about inking the whole stamp because you only want to get these 3 birds in. And I'm just going to stamp it like that. And you can see I've got 3 birds. I'm not sure how well this one turned out compared to the other one, but we're about to unveil the actual masking job. Because the last thing that we do, I'm just taking the tape off. And normally I would conserve this tape, but it's all covered in ink, so I won't conserve it. I'll throw it away. Actually, we can lift that off. You see that we've got our leaf. We've got our design with the birds and the horizon. They're a little high. This time I can see it cut off one wing, but it doesn't look too bad. I think we can still go with it. And the last thing I want to do, and I'm going to move my ink pad over because it's not going to fit, is the sentiment. And I lined up the sentiment just along here with kind of framing the leaf at the bottom. And just get along the bottom like that. And hope that it turned out. Yes, it did. It's a little bit crooked, but that's always the way. It says that it's handmade, you know. If everything was perfect, it would be like, you know, could have bought it in a store that way. And I don't know why, but I can't at the moment find my, oh, what the heck. I'm going to use these dimensionals. Why not? We have, oh shoot. You know what I did? I got fingerprints on it. Well, you know what? I'm not going to use this, but this is just basically shows you how the technique is done. And then what you would do is you would put these dimensionals on, peel this off, stick it to the back of your card, which I'm not going to touch. My hands are just covered in ink. But, this is what I really wanted to do the video for, was the masking technique. And, what I'll do is throw this away and start again. Or just do something completely different. And then this would kind of sit like that on there, and it would be finished. And really, it's no major disaster. because before I damaged it, I had done the technique, and that was really all I did this video to show you. So, thank you very much, Gwen. I appreciate that thought. It's nice to be back in action. Nice to see you guys. Anyway, thank you very much, and that's the end of the video. Thank you for joining Stampin Smiles by Jackie. Have a good day. Bye-bye. I totally wanted to put this ending onto my live that I had recorded before because I had put a finger smudge on it, and I just wanted to show how I covered up that finger smudge with some jewel embellishments, and I put some dimensionals on the back because I'm now confident that my card is not at the end of its rope just because I messed up on getting a finger smudge. It's not the end of the world. And I'm just taking the backings off, and this one's already off. And I'm going to put it on, here's my 3x3 card base. I'm going to put the card lined up with the edge. And it's finished. A 3x3. Thank you. Bye-bye.